do a picture of a cute little fox. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's actually in the notification. And if you are catching this on the replay, I will put it in the comments. And I am going to edit this into a video so that you actually have the picture in picture so you can see what we're doing as we go through. Now, Sarah is somebody that I'm really excited to work with today because we had an interview for the Artful Desk last
Yeah.
week, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what you use and how you use it because you have the most incredible art. And I
Oh,
want to say again a big celebrations and congratulations for getting longlisted with your own publication.
oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that's very exciting. I'm still feeling very pleased that I made it to the long list. It was the unpublished picture book showcase with Depictus. So it's quite a big international competition. So I was really pleased that I got the long list. That was really
Yeah,
exciting. Yeah.
that's exciting. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm going to flip my camera around so that I'm looking at my
Okay.
desk
Yeah, me
and I'm going
too.
to piddle around a bit. And what is it that you're going to be playing with today?
Well, I have got my watercolors and I've got gouache and I've got colored pencil, which is the kind of three things I always use for my book illustrations and, well, any illustrations that I do really. So yeah, it's a bit of a combination of lots of different things. And I actually, when you shared that picture, foxes are one of my favorite things to draw. So I was
Oh, good.
very pleased when you sent that one.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, I just love their colors and like their character. And actually, since living in Canada, well, actually, I've never seen a fox here. I think possibly they're more in the east side of Canada. I'm not really sure, but do you get foxes where you are?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Oh,
But
okay. I've
they
just never seen
are
them.
a very shy creature. And
Yeah.
um, I haven't actually seen many in the wild, but I grew up way in the north where we had a lot of animals that were just kind of, behind the house type of thing. So I
Yes.
have seen them, but mostly I go to the Wild Rehabilitation Recovery
Oh,
Center here, and they have foxes that are um, in the middle of getting some treatment, and then they get to go back out in the wild. But yeah, they're pretty
oh,
incredible. Very shy, very
yeah.
good at catching food. So people
Yes.
here don't like them because of the chickens, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, they're this little guy that I got the picture of, and for anyone that's just joining, we're drawing a picture of a little fox,
Hmm.
and he's gonna be. How old do you think this guy is? Like a yearling or something? He's just a little guy,
Yeah,
right?
he's pretty young. Yeah, he's a cub. He's very cute.
And we're just going to sketch him out. So, as we sort of do that, I invite anyone that's watching to grab some art supplies and play along. Or if you are watching the replay, you can do that. And Sarah, why don't you tell us what art supplies you're going to be using today and what's your favorite ones at the moment?
Yeah, I'm just starting off drawing with a pencil, which is just a normal HB pencil. And once I've sketched him out, I'm going to be doing the color with some watercolors, which are these little set that I actually won on a giveaway called
Oh, the
Deep
deep,
Deep
deep
Light.
light.
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
know you have heard of, and I really like them. All that they're kind of handmade in Latvia, I think, in Europe, and the colors come straight from the forest, as far as I can gather from their website, and they're just beautiful, like really earthy colors. So I'm going to be using them, and then I mix them with some gouache, which is obviously a bit more opaque than the watercolor, so that kind of is better for when I do bookwork because the colors sometimes need to be a bit more vibrant. And then I
Right.
I normally go over the top with colored pencil to add a bit more shadow and texture and stuff, especially for animals, so I can get kind of the fur texture and things like that.
So when you said you did watercolor with gouache, are you mixing them together?
Sometimes I do. I normally start with the watercolor and then sort of do gouache over the top, or I might mix the watercolor and gouache together on my very messy plate that I have. So yeah, so I just kind of yeah, just see what works. If I It depends what color I'm trying to get, and
Right.
yeah, and so I kind of have got to know these materials so that I can figure out. what finish I want. And so because I know them quite well, I kind of can figure out what colors I need to mix together and what combination of watercolor and gouache to use. And yeah, so it's kind of a bit of trial and error sometimes, but it normally turns out okay in the end.
I think I mentioned to you that I'd never heard of mixing them together, and I might try that today. We'll see how it goes. And
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
just in the moment, for anybody that's having a look here, that is who we're creating today, this little guy. Very sweet. And I'm just going to put that up so I can actually start sketching. And this is the palette that I'm going to use today. Maybe. We'll see how much gets done. But I love these colors. I
Yeah,
put
well,
them
that looks nice.
together. And they're all, a lot of them are very granulating, which I love. It gives you
Uh-huh.
beautiful texture. And I did a little swatch here
Oh, wow.
just to remind myself what they are.
What make are those ones?
So I have a variety here. Almost all of them are Daniel Smith because that's what I got started with. And then I saw some tutorial somewhere with core, and they have this incredibly saturated, brilliant color. I mean, look at this incredible color.
That's
And
beautiful.
I've been gardening today. Every fingernail has
Oh,
dirt.
wow. That's very nice. It's a
But
lovely sunny
this,
day to be in the garden.
yeah, it is. Good day for gardening and good day to hang out and do a little painting in between, which is
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, I actually found that the core set was quite an interesting set because the colors are very saturated, so you'll have them for a lifetime for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But also they're pretty pricey. So it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know if I want to invest in this because they didn't really do testers, but I got one set. I'd seen some videos. It's always the way, right? You watch a video on YouTube and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, must have.
Yes. Yes. For sure.
And I saw that somebody had painted portraits with them, and I was
Oh,
shocked because the
wow.
colors are so saturated, but the mixing of them was phenomenal. So I thought, yeah, okay, I'm going to give that a shot, and I have no regrets, and I will have those forever and ever.
Yeah. They sound really good.
Oh my gosh, I'm really not the best at animals here. My proportions are goofy, but yeah, we're just gonna go with it. Give
Oh,
him a little head. I hope he looks like a fox and not a cat, but they're kind of half cat, half dog anyway, aren't they?
yeah, I know. They're strange. I don't know which kind of group they fit into, but yeah, they're very cute. And I hope I see one at some point in Canada because I do love them. In England, we see them all the time because they go, they're on the streets all the time to try and like scrounge rubbish, like food scraps out of the bins and things like that. So I see them all the time in England. And actually, you saying the chickens, we used to have 4 chickens in our garden in England, and the fox did get them, and he got all 4 of them, unfortunately. So even
Yeah,
though even though he did that, I still like drawing them.
I think they deserve their wily sort of
Yeah,
personification because they're very adept at getting into stuff, that is for sure. But
yeah,
it's
they're very
unfortunate that they like the
crafty.
livestock. But
Yeah, I know, it's a shame.
we all have to share the same habitat, and that's something that I think Canadians are very fortunate in, that we have such incredible spaces for animals, but then
Mm,
also things are developing very, very quickly.
mm.
And people forget that the animals were here first and that we're actually sharing. And I think
Yes,
it's really important to know that we are working on this together.
yeah,
And
that we're in their
that's
space.
yeah, we're sharing the space, but it was their space first. And so
Yes.
basically like you're saying, "Hey, I got snacks for you. Check it out."
Yeah,
And people are upset that the chickens are gone, but
yeah,
yeah.
and they all got to survive somehow or other.
Well,
But
it's the same like with the wolves especially too. Wolves are very
mm,
misunderstood. They're not a vicious, harsh animal like people think that they are, only if they're protecting their young, but that's the same as any other animal. But yeah, yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
it's all the same. I don't know if this is looking foxy, but we'll see how he's going.
looks good to me.
I'm gonna jump up and see. Oh, yours is so cute already. It's so fun. I really enjoy doing paint-alongs and art stuff with other people.
Yeah, me too. Well, it's the first time I've done one on here, but I've done other days where I do. I think it's called animal life drawing, Another lady, Holly Surplus, does those on Instagram, and there's a little group of people, and she gets some lovely photos to work from. And it's always just really nice drawing with other people because being an artist, I'm kind of on my own a lot when I'm doing the book illustration. Apart from I do have a part-time job teaching preschool, so that's good. But yeah, it's quite a kind of solitary um, job for a lot of the time. So it's really lovely to have someone to chat to whilst I'm drawing.
Yeah, same, same. I'm just trying to get over my fangirliness over here because you're such a good illustrator. Like,
Oh,
I rarely do animals. Um, I actually joined Beth Spencer, who
oh
does
yeah,
Introverted Drawing Club,
I'm
and
subscribed to her. Yeah.
yeah, she was one of the first people I subscribed to, and she's all about the animals right now, and they're doing dogs, and
Uh-huh.
I can't. I don't know what it is about dogs. I just can't get them. They always look like cats, so I'm like, okay. I'm just gonna pretend
Oh,
they're cats and we'll see how it goes. Oh, I've done that thing. I've done that thing where I've gone off the page, as I do.
oh, that's okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
How long have
let's
you been
do that.
doing your portraits for? Because they're really I've well in the on the reverse side, I find drawing people a lot harder than animals. Animals I find quite straightforward, but your portraits are stunning.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been working like I just wrote a little thing about it the other day about how I started a new Substack publication. I was like, this is the last thing I thought I was going to do because I've got so much going on.
Oh,
But
right.
part of what I was saying was that it was about maybe a year ago when I decided to get serious, and I'm going to make air quotes because serious for me, I like to have fun and I like to enjoy myself. And the second anything gets too rigid and serious, I just lose interest. I think
Okay.
because of 4 years of art school or something like that, and everything was
Uh-huh.
very regimented and rule based, but I was never, I didn't do painting, I did graphic design.
Oh, right. Okay.
But the portraiture came around when I had been playing with watercolor for about 4 years
Oh, wow.
after not doing any art for a long time because I studied to be a homeopathic practitioner.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
I kind of took a break doing that.
Yeah.
But the art was always there and it came back in a big way. And I was like, okay, well, that's calling me. It's got to happen. So we're going to do that. And I'd never done portraiture really in a way that wasn't just farting around, like
Uh-huh.
trying to doodle. And
Oh,
I
that's
thought, I'm going to actually take time. I'm going to see what happens if I actually put some time and energy into this. And maybe I can get something I'm happy with. And I also really love a challenge.
yeah.
So, me,
Oh,
without
yeah.
knowing anything about watercolor, went jumped right into watercolor thinking it was going to be easy.
Okay. Not quite so easy.
The thing I'm really enjoying, especially on Substack here, is connecting with other people that are really having some of the same challenges and going through the same things and just being able to have a community, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like Substack is definitely becoming my favorite kind of social media platform. I do I kind of still quite active on Instagram because I I listen to a lot of podcasts and interviews about illustration and with art directors and publishers and things like that. And nearly all of them say they look out for artists on Instagram. So I'm like, well, I've got to be
Oh,
on there because
really?
you never know when somebody might be looking and maybe one of my pictures would fit well with a project that they're going to be doing or something. So yeah, so I do go on there, but I just really enjoy Substack. It's got no adverts and people are writing really interesting things, and you kind of get it feels like a bit more of a personal connection because yeah, I really enjoy reading things on there.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I really enjoy the support that the artist community is giving each other, and it's something that
Yeah.
I really love doing that. I love helping people that are just out there, and because I came from a background of tech stuff, I've been able to figure out a lot of I call it the
Uh-huh.
kitchen sink software Substack because it does
Right.
everything and more. And just when you think it's like everything in the kitchen sink, right? It's an old weird saying, but
Yes.
um, just when you think you figured it out, they're like, "Oh, hey, we've got this whole new thing."
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I probably have got very limited knowledge compared to you because I've not sort of I've done the basic and then there's probably loads more features that I haven't found out about yet and that I could use. And yeah, it's quite an involved. I guess once you start looking into it, it can get quite involved and figure out how to do all the different things.
Yeah, but also what I really enjoy the most is how fast people can get on to Substack and actually be in a place where they feel like they can share and publish their work. And, I think the most important thing, which for me, I'm still on Instagram, but barely go on there other than stories.
Mhm.
I really, really enjoy the feedback that people are giving so quickly, when
Yeah.
there's actual conversations happening, chat rooms are jumping. There's places like Rose Florence, which I absolutely love because there's so many people in there sharing amazing content that they've created. And,
Oh, I
you
haven't
know,
seen one.
oh, she's so good. It's like an open forum for art related anything. And most people are using it for when they're traveling and they want to know where's the best gallery to go and what shows are happening.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
like I'm going to Montreal next week. What's happening in Montreal? And,
Yeah.
you're back from 15 people and she's American. So there's
Oh,
people
that's so
from all
cool.
over.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if this is a fox or a wolf, but, you know, he's getting there.
Oh, he looks great. Oh, I love it. It's so cute.
Okay, so I'm just standing up to look at my camera again, and I can see that you've started painting already. So
Oh, yeah.
what's your process? Do you just do a watercolor wash first off?
Yeah, I'm just using the kind of reddy orange in my deep, deep light palette and just kind of putting the base layer down of his orange fur. And then after I've got kind of the general color all over where I want it, then I'll start adding some more kind of shadows and textures where I can see where his fur is darker or lighter, probably with a mixture of the watercolor and the gouache together. So,
Can I see your palette?
yeah, this is the deep, deep light one, and then this is the little. This is a really good color for the
Mhm.
box at the moment that I'm using, and then this is the gouache, which is a dinner plate that I've stolen. So
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. I have a collection of tins myself. I think I've got about, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
oh
7,
sorry.
8, 10. I have 10 of them already. It's
Oh wow.
insane. This is one of my favorites too. I got this on Etsy. These were handmade
Oh wow.
and they're iridescent.
Oh my goodness, they're cool. They're a bit
Aren't those pretty?
sparkly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this one's actually copper and blue together,
Oh
like a
wow.
teal. I might actually use that on the fox because why not? They're
Yeah.
here. They're here. They're here.
Oh, I have to have a look on Etsy as well. I like supporting the independent makers on Etsy if I can.
Me too. And it's moments like this where I'm glad I'm in what used to be my bedroom as opposed to having a studio. Otherwise, I'd be all into the let's make all these different colors from scratch.
Yeah.
Let's see how much work I can get into. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And get carried away. Have you have you watched the series Portrait Artist of the Year on Amazon Prime? I think it's on.
I think I saw some on YouTube at one point,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and
I've loved watching that. It's such a great show.
yeah, it's shocking to me that A, people have that level of talent, and B, that they can do anything that fast. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's actually like not that long when you're drawing, like you want to get an accurate portrait of someone, and was it 4 hours, I think, for the first round? And
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen quite a few of them, and I also watched another one that it wasn't portraiture. I forgot what it was. I think it was just it wasn't plein air. I think it was just the best artist or something, something, and they chose their own subject matter, but a lot of them did
Oh, wow.
architecture, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun to see that and see the different ways that people do things and how some people take it very seriously and some people are
Uh-huh.
just like, yeah, I was having some fun and enjoying myself. And
Uh-huh.
uh, I can't remember the name. I'm really bad with names, but there was one where it was a young female artist who won, and the men that were competing against her were just like well, like kind of
Right, yeah.
blustering that they were the ones that were considered. And I was like, go girl.
Oh, that's
So
good.
much fun. All right, I'm gonna get this guy like super, super wet. Let's see what happens. I haven't done anything like this in so long. Fun,
Oh,
fun.
yeah, I guess like when you do these draw alongs, you get to draw stuff that you maybe wouldn't normally draw.
Totally. When I did the one with Kylie and we did the ink tense blocks, that's because that's what she used, and I didn't actually
Yeah.
have them. I used I can't remember what I did, something or other, but it was architectural, and we did this cute little cafe drawing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I never do this type of work, and it's actually really a lot of fun. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did. I watched that video. It was brilliant. And those ink tense blocks look amazing.
Don't they?
I
I
immediately wanted
know.
to go and buy some.
This is the challenge when you love art supplies, and then,
Yeah.
I love them so much, I'm like, I will just, like, make an entire thing where I get to talk to people about their art supplies because then I can live vicariously through them. What I didn't count
Yeah,
on was the fact that now I wanna buy them all.
exactly. Yeah, I'd be the same if I was in your shoes.
Now I want them all. What I really
Yeah.
wanna try and dash the Neo colors,
Oh, yeah.
and, I went on I go every year down to Victoria, BC to see the gorgeous sakura cherry blossoms. And
Oh, amazing.
they actually had a Karen Dash event on. And
Oh,
the thing that
wow.
I wanted to buy was not on sale anymore. They'd sold out of them. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
but it was like, I think $30 off. It was a phenomenal sale. The kind of
oh,
thing you
that's
don't
good.
see often.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they're very pricey. But apparently, good times are had with that art supply. So, yeah,
Yeah, they
something
do lots of different things, don't they?
something I want to try.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm having to do this so differently than what I normally do. I'm making this way too light to I'm not gonna have enough time. Okay, so that might be the bonus of putting on the gouache because it gives you that bit of depth and opacity, but also the
Yeah.
drying time is a lot faster, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it works quite well. I find it works quite well. And then mixing the colors, like, because I've got that tiny box of deep light, and I would love to go and have a shopping spree on their website, but I think I would maybe I don't have enough money at the moment because there's so many beautiful colors,
Oh, I
and
know. I
I
know.
just
Yeah, they're incredible.
yeah. But I'm sure they last a long time, which is good. Like, so I will get some more colors again. But the gouache, I've just got tubes of gouache, and they last a really long time, which is good. And the color's a little bit brighter.
I had never used them before, and I bought a very inexpensive set, and I rarely do that anymore, but it was like, "Oh, I'll just get some to try,"
Yeah.
not thinking they'd be like cheap watercolors, and they kinda are. Looking
Oh,
at
okay.
you, Arteza brand, but, they're
Yeah.
fine, they're okay, and for the amount that I've played with them, they're not bad, but
Uh-huh.
very different way of painting, don't you find?
Yeah, I think you can use them quite. I tend to use them with quite a lot of water to begin with, but I think if I want something really bright colors, I would kind of use the tube and put them on a bit more thickly,
Right. Well, I
which
think
is
that's
a
a
quite nice option to have, which is different to the watercolor.
Yeah, mine were in tubes and I put them in pans, not realizing that when you do that, they dry out completely and
Okay,
turn
yeah.
into the Sahara Desert. And I will show you. This is my another tin. Isn't this great? Love this tin.
Oh yeah, that's very cool.
Look at that.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
Like the desert. And they
Uh,
all crumbled into pieces.
oh
So
yeah.
I might
Oh,
see
there's
it
nice
some,
colors though. I like that
yeah,
pink.
beautiful colors. That's why I bought it. And you can see the
Uh-huh.
swatch.
Yeah.
But I think they're good to try to get an idea of how to paint with gouache, which is a little bit different than watercolor because you've got less translucency.
Yes.
No. Um, uh, and how is it that it goes again? The darker they look, the lighter they dry, or something like that. There was some sort of rule of thumb, but
Oh, I'm not sure.
anyhow, I've got those to try. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah, it's good fun to try them.
This fur really does lend beautifully to watercolor, I must say. Although this is dried too quickly, but yeah, lots of nice blending happening.
Mhm.
You know what I'm curious about is your brushes. What kind of brushes do you like at the moment?
This one I really like. What is it? I can't see what it's called. Oh, Royal and Lanik. Zen, Royal and Lanical, I think it's called. It's just like a long one. It's really long in the handle, which I like. And
Mm,
then the tip, I've kind of been using it um, all the time. I really like the tip. I'm not sure what kind of bristles it's made from, but I've used it a lot. And I've got these really fine ones made by Princeton, which
mhm.
I use obviously for the more detailed bit, and that's a um, 0. Oh no, this is a number 1, so it's quite thin. I think I've seen you use some very, very tiny brushes for your hair and things like that when you do your portraits.
That's a quadruple
Yeah.
zero.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And I've
I'll tell
even,
you.
sorry.
I was just going to say this is my favorite, and I wish I'd discovered this years ago. You can't really see it right now. See if the
Oh,
camera
that
will
looks
focus.
nice.
And it's there now. You can see it. See
Yeah.
how they've cut into it so
Yeah.
that it actually creates that delineation when you're putting down your
Oh,
stroke. And
yeah.
so, if I use it almost like a dry brush to do hair details, it works quite well.
Oh, that sounds good.
So I like it for that. And some, it's the old schooling, like, oh, it's cheating, but it's not. It's a
Yeah.
tool, and you got to use the tools that you've got and enjoy what you've got. And if it works for you, it works for you, and that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I sometimes use this one, which is I got for like £3 in England. It's like a Chinese writing brush, I think. Like it's meant to be
Mm.
used for ink, but I really like you can get the very tiny tip
Hmm.
and also use it on its side for like bigger areas. So sometimes I use that one as well. They're the kind of three main ones that I'm using at the moment.
I have so many brushes. This is only half of them.
Oh wow.
There's more on the other side, the bigger ones. But I have to say, this is the brand that I am really loving lately, and it's called Kazan.
Oh
And
wow.
these hold water like a $90 brush, and they are synthetic. And I don't know how they did it. And the price point on this was $15 Canadian.
Oh, that's not bad.
I don't know how they did it. And they're very quality brushes, and I'm really enjoying them a lot. And I've been saying them a bit like this one here is an Escada, very pricey. I bought it when I was beginning, and I thought, as beginners do, you're like, oh, that person is using that brush. If I buy that brush, I will be able to do what they do.
Yeah, yeah.
And look at this, it didn't hold up at all. I was really shocked.
Oh.
It just needs some of the, there. You can actually buy some sort of watercolor brush wax now that will
Oh really? Okay.
I'm trying to think of the words. It just reshapes them back to the way
Yes.
they were. So I
Oh,
don't have to
okay.
worry about that and not throw it away. But considering the price point, that Escada was triple the price. And
Yeah.
it really didn't deliver.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's nice when you find those more affordable things which perform better than the very expensive things.
yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to show you this. Now it's just going to look like a black blob. I'm not sure if you can see that because you've got your camera flipped, but I'm
Oops,
just
sorry,
sharing
that
it
was
with
my. Oh
people.
yeah.
That is bean paint, BEAN.
Oh
And they're Canadian. They're made by an indigenous, I can't remember if it's a couple or a family that makes them, and all done by hand with just like deep, deep light,
yeah.
natural pigments. So
Wow.
they'll use different plants and minerals and a variety of other things. And I can't remember what this one's made out of,
Oh, that
but
sounds really good. I'd
it
like to
does.
try that.
Yeah.
Buy something Canadian as well, especially from an indigenous source. That would be really nice.
Yeah. And they're a little pricey, but the thing that they do, which I really like, is this tiny little tiny little, I just want to get that on camera there. So you get a perspective. It's like the size
Oh,
of my
yeah.
fingernail. Um, $7. So
Oh, right.
it gives you a bit of a chance to try them out without feeling like you broke the bank, which is really
Yeah.
nice. And yeah, not a bad brand. I know some people really love them to the point where they won't use anything else.
Oh,
And I
okay.
just wanted to try them out. They have one called Orca, which I was like, the name is so good.
Yes.
But also it is has a bit of a mica, so it's got some sparkle in it, which I really like.
Oh, that's really lovely.
Oops,
Oh,
I
so
have
many things to try.
inadvertently, yeah, I have accidentally mixed Payne's gray with my red and it's splitting, but you know what? It looks really cool.
Yeah, your fox is looking so good. I like all the different colors you're using.
I'm just 100% winging it over here. Just see what happens with it. It's because I keep getting distracted and standing up and watching what you're doing instead of painting. And then everything's drying out. So I'm all the spots that I wanted to do have shifted. This is all dried again, didn't it? Bother. Anyway, I'm
Yeah,
gonna share it.
he's got some really nice colors on his fur, actually. I really look like once you start painting, you kind of see all the details and stuff. And I love
Mhm.
his kind of dark snout and little muzzle and then his dark legs and they're so cute.
And like yours, he actually has character already and looks so cute.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's the thing I don't know how to do yet. And I'm saying yet because I always like to try something. Maybe I'll get there at some point and focus on it. But people
Yeah.
that do illustration, especially children's books illustrators, have this way of being able to capture character and cuteness that I'm just in awe of. It is
Oh,
just,
thank you.
like your little guys, like the picture that I first saw when I saw your work and I was like, I gotta talk to this woman because her work is so great, was the one, it was all the bunnies in the field.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And every one of them was like doing his own thing. He had his own little story. And I was like, that is really interesting how she did that. And I want to learn more how she did it. And
Oh,
it was
thank you. Yeah, it's
really
something
fun.
I really had to learn because I think I said before when we did our chat about my work and materials last week, is that before I was doing greetings card illustration, and that was really fun. And the reason why I went into the children's book illustration is because I really liked a lot of my cards had little characters on and things, and
Hmm.
some people I would sometimes do fairs for Etsy at home in England, and they would come and buy some prints or whatever, and they go, "Oh, your work would be great for children's books." And I was like, "Oh well, that would be worth, I'll give that a try." And I was like, "Well, I'll just put these pictures in my portfolio, and I'll get a book deal, and that'll be great. I'll a bit of extra." But little did I know that how hard it would be, and what a long, winding road I was about to embark on. And then once I got into it, and obviously at the time I had my children and they were quite little, so I was reading a lot of picture books. And once the kind of seed was planted, I was like, oh my goodness, we're kind of looking more um, in depth at the picture books I was reading to my children at the illustrations, and I was just then obsessed with picture books. And I was like, right, this is what I want to do. And I still carried on with the greetings cards, but I had to learn again that I could draw nice pictures of animals and people, but I had to then learn to make them interact with each other and give them expressions and make them look cute or curious or sad or worried. And that was a whole new skill that I had to learn, which you don't really have to worry about when you're doing greetings cards so much, because people, tend to want to buy a card and put it on their mantelpiece for a little while and then I don't know, recycle it or maybe keep it. But it's not quite as much as the expression you have to capture when you're doing picture books. So yeah, it was a new thing that I had to learn, which yeah, I've got better at as the years have gone by. And so yeah, I'm pleased that you saw that when you saw the bunny picture.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And how did you do it? Like, did you just do tutorials or did you just try and draw facial expressions from people and then convert it to animals? Or I'm just like, I'm really curious about the whole process because I've never done that.
Yeah, I have done quite a lot of courses, online mostly, and yeah, all from all different kind of instructors. I guess I did Lila Rogers' course, who she used to be an art agent in America, and they were really helpful to begin with. And then I think it's just been practice and looking at other picture books as well as doing the courses, because the courses are brilliant and I've enjoyed them so much. But there's only so much you can take away, but then you've got to actually just sit down and practice. And I think it's just looking at how other people do it, and then trying to do it again myself. But trying to develop my own style as well, because you don't want to start copying anybody else or anything like that. So yeah, and I think your own style sort of comes with the more you paint and the more you draw, it just sort of develops over time, and people then start to recognize your work as your own. And yeah, I think it's like the age old thing of practice, really. Just keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing, and then you start to develop. And looking at pictures, and for people, one portfolio review I had, the lady suggested I watch this program on, I think the episodes are on YouTube, called The Secret Life of 4-Year-Olds,
Hmm.
because I think my children were a bit older at the time than the kind of picture book audience that I wanted to practice drawing. And this TV show is actually very funny, because they film 4 and 5-year-olds interacting with each other, like secret cameras in like kind of a preschool setting. And so the lady who I had the portfolio review with said, just put that on the TV and try and draw from that in your sketchbook, and you'll get to know the sort of mannerisms of the children and their body language and stuff. So that was really helpful. And yeah, and try, obviously it's a bit trickier to try and draw wild animals, because they're not always around when you need them. But looking at videos online and things like that is always really helpful to try and capture those movements and the expressions and the interactions. So that's always a good thing to try and
Wow.
use. Yeah.
That's excellent advice. I would never have thought of doing that.
Yeah, and sometimes video is better than just working from a static photograph, because you actually get to see how animals and people move with each other. And
Yeah.
whereas with a photograph, you don't always get the whole sensation of it all working together.
Have to really increase my speed because I'm getting very bogged down in the details because I'm used to doing things a lot slower unless I'm doing a 1 hour study, which I need to remind myself that's kind of what this is.
Oh
And
yeah.
just need to chill out and not worry about it being perfect because that's the problem. Then he's going to be not finished. Better to have him finished and be in his own little character with all his little imperfections than not, and then not finishing it at a later time.
Yeah. How long do your portraits normally take you when you do people?
Um, some of the larger ones can take months,
Wow.
and I try to do something every day. I try to do a daily practice, or at the very least to do a bit of drawing, draw faces, because I'm some things I'm really challenged by. A lot of people are actually that do portraits. They just don't talk about it, but drawing the eyes so that the eyes make sense with proportion and in the space can take a long time to learn. And
Mhm.
so that's something I've really been working on. Oh, I pushed all my paint sideways. Um, because I keep finding that, like the one eye will look good and then the other one's like, where's that going? Like,
Yeah.
it's going on holiday. It's taking a little trip. Yeah. But it's fun. I really love a challenge, and that's I think mostly like you were asking me before, why did I get into portraiture? And I think that was probably why, because it was something I hadn't really done.
Mhm.
And I used to do photorealistic acrylic,
Oh
and
wow.
it turned into this weird kind of unwanted sideways venture where friends would be like, "Oh wow, that's really good. Could you paint this Picasso for me?" And I was like, "I can't really do that. I can do a version of it." And
Yeah.
then I sort of doing, in quotes, versions of other artists, but it just you get to the point where you've spent 5 hours painting minuscule dots with a brush that has 10 hairs in it, and you say to
Wow.
yourself, "Yeah, Yeah, I think I'm done.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So I didn't really do portraits. Mostly it was abstract. A lot of
Oh
people
wow.
really love Georgia O'Keeffe, so I did a lot of big
Oh
Georgia
yeah.
O'Keeffe and some pieces like that. And then life happened, and I didn't do that kind of work for a long time. And then I started this, and I thought, oh, I'm going to try watercolor. And I started out with your classic abstract and doing some landscapes, which I also really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I like them, but then once I sort of learned the technique, I kept finding myself getting quite bored very quickly.
Okay.
And then I thought, okay, I'm going to try doing some portraiture and see what comes out of that. And I was shocked, first off, that the learning curve does not seem to be ending, which is amazing. And also, um, I haven't got bored yet. So I
Yay.
think I think that might be the thing.
Yeah.
I'm always open to trying something new. And
Yeah.
I think the thing that I found that I love the most, which really shocked me, was liquid watercolor.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely love it because it's completely unpredictable,
Uh-huh.
and you have no idea what's going to happen with it. And it does this, it's one of those things where you really have to learn to let go and
Right.
trust that it's going to do what it wants to do and it's going to turn out beautifully. And it almost always does.
Yeah.
And and that's one of those things about watercolor where there's a difference where, like this, where I'm fighting with it big time today because I'm trying to control it in a way that's not working with this paper and this little character here, as opposed to the liquid watercolors where you can't control it at all and you
Okay.
have to just surrender to it. You can
Yeah.
choose the colors, you can choose some shapes, but ultimately it's going to mix and dry how it wants to. And when it does,
Oh wow.
I'm always shocked by how beautiful they come out.
Yeah.
So,
So the
yeah,
liquid
it's been
watercolor
fun.
behaves differently to the kind of pans of dry watercolor.
Totally different. Yeah,
Oh
it's
right.
it's it's more like ink.
Oh, okay.
And
Hmm, that's interesting.
you might have seen because you're on Instagram, and as we do, we get on Instagram and we got to scroll because the work on there is amazing.
Yes.
But there is there was one person that started doing it, but a lot of people have taken it up. And what they would do is they would create these beautiful shapes, but it's water on watercolor paper, so you can't quite see the shape. And then they'll drop ink into it, and it just
Oh.
expands, and all of a sudden it's a cat
Oh, okay.
or it's
Yeah,
a
I think I
bird.
have seen stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's that dispersion of the color, depending on what pigments are working together, what the paper's like, the temperature of the water, the temperature of the air, all of these things that you really can't control, but they will
Right.
create different results with the same materials.
Oh, that's so fun.
And then other people will do things like add salt or,
Oh yeah.
like those crazy watercolor tutorials for beginners with like, let's get a straw, let's try putting plastic on it, let's do it with
Oh
this.
right.
Like all of those things can work. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. I have to try that.
Okay, let's see if we can get this guy some fur looking fur instead of I don't know what I'm doing at this point. How's it going with you over there? I'm gonna stand up and see. Oh, you're
Yeah,
like
yours looks lovely.
yours is getting close to being, look at his little face. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Oh, thank you. Yours too. Yours is beautiful. I love all the washes. Oh, this is so fun doing this, the same picture together. That's really good.
I like it because it never looks the same, right? That's
Yeah,
the fun part of
exactly.
doing art together. And
Yeah.
I want to put this out to people. If you're watching and you're in the comments there, are you painting along? How's it going with you? What are you playing with? Because Tanya wants to know because she's excited to hear what you're playing with.
Yeah.
I love art supplies and playing with different things. So I'm curious about your story. Like, where did the love of watercolor and gouache together come from? Is that just from playing around and seeing that you got results that you liked?
Yeah, I can't, I'm trying to think. I think yeah, I did use the when I was doing the greetings cards, I did use the watercolor, and then I actually um when I did the illustrations, once I'd finished with watercolor, I used to outline everything in black ink, like a fine liner pen. So that was a lot of my. I still sell some of my greetings cards on Etsy, so they're still in that style. And then I tried to get into the picture book world, and I had my to begin with my portfolio. Like looking back on it now, I it was awful. Like it was so mismatched. It was I just kind of stuck a load of pictures together and thought that would be good enough, but I was very far from ready to get any work doing picture books or any kind of book. So yeah, so I just put some of my greetings cards illustrations into the portfolio and then sent it out. And I was like, wasn't getting anywhere. So I had a portfolio review with a lady, and she was quite harsh, but looking back, it was fair, and it was probably what I needed to sort of, make me think, right, I need to do something. I need to get this looking more coherent. I need to get it all together. And the one picture that she commented on, which she really liked, which she didn't like very much about my portfolio at the time.
Oh,
I was kind of, when you have a review with someone and you're like, come away feeling a bit sort of dejected and sad.
yeah.
But she had commented on this one picture I had drawn of two unicorns. Together, and it didn't have the black outline, and she was like, I really like this one, I like the colors and all the thing. I was like, okay, and it was a bit brighter than the other kind of watercolory drawings, and because the rest of it had been quite hard to take when you're trying to put your art out there in the world. And she was just really honest, and which now I'm really pleased about, but at the time it was kind of hard. So I was like, right, she really liked this one without the black outline. It doesn't have the watercolory like paleness about it. It's a lot brighter and more vivid. So I was like, I just went with that, and I started kind of recreating my portfolio. And through the courses, I did lots of experiments and things. And so I just went with the gouache because it was kind of a bit brighter. And this lady had like said she likes it. So I started combining it with the watercolor and then combining it with colored pencil as well, and I just got more and more into the effects I could get. And so yeah, I've just stuck with it because it just works really well for the for what I want to create. And you can get really lovely colors with it, and you can get really nice textures. And yeah, so I think through kind of that portfolio review and just running with the gouache and the brighter colors in conjunction with the watercolors, I think that's probably where it all sort of stemmed from. And I've kind of worked on it and worked on it from there. And my style has kind of developed itself as the years have gone by, and now I'm kind of quite comfortable with how what effects I can get and what colors I can mix. And yeah, it works quite well now.
That's pretty neat because not only did you develop a style, you also developed a method that works really well for you. And I think that's part of the fun of exploration, isn't it? When you get to that point where you're like, yeah, what I'm seeing on YouTube is great. What I'm seeing on these tutorials that people are sharing is great, but I think I'm going to try it this way. And let's just see what happens if I do that instead of this. And the next thing
Uh-huh.
you know, you've got your own thing going on. And that's how I've always felt about my watercolor because I tried watercolor tutorials. I've done some classes and my resistance was so high. I'm just laughing at myself in retrospect, but there wasn't a lot of options. I live in a small area and there tends to be two or three styles here and that's it. That's all that you see. Doesn't mean
Okay.
that's what's happening in reality. That's just what's being shown or who's teaching. And so this one person was teaching and her style is very loose and free and she's very good at characters and animals and really
Okay.
excellent at um creating sort of a story with
Uh-huh.
the work, but it's very traditional
Right.
style of
Yeah.
working. And it just didn't work for me, and I would get so frustrated. I'd be sitting in that classroom like, "I don't wanna do this. I don't wanna do this. I don't
Mm.
like it. I don't wanna do it." And it was like the little child in me was just like, "I'm gonna fight you." And so I did, but in the end, there was some good foundational stuff, which was great, but it also, and this is what's the most value to me, it taught me what I didn't want.
Right, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And learning what I didn't want was just as valuable as learning a technique that I would carry forward because I wasn't wasting any more time doing it anymore. And there's certain styles that a lot of people do, which I admire because, like I said, I was doing photorealism, so I came from a very rigid, pointillism, tiny
Right.
little spaces, lots of detail, like this, which I'm fighting with because I'm stuck in the detail here a bit. But I realized that I didn't like that, and they were a lot of, like, paint splatters and, draw the outline and that sort of thing, which
Right,
is
yeah.
a lot of fun for certain things, but it wasn't what I was looking to do long term. So I enjoyed that, but, I really learned that the traditional style of watercolor for me didn't work, and so I just started watching tons of tutorials and playing around and seeing what I liked and what I didn't like, and, um the hardest part for me was learning to let go of my perfectionistic ways, as I like
Oh,
to
okay.
say. This is why I started watercolor because you can't control it at all. You can't
Yeah.
be perfectionist at it. My brain keeps trying to, but ultimately, you really can't. You have to just let it play out.
Yeah, I guess with the acrylic, you can be so much more precise and
Yeah. I
yeah.
also really enjoyed learning to paint backwards because for me, doing acrylic was completely different, dark to light, whereas watercolor is the
Oh, yeah.
opposite. So you
Yeah.
have to always be like, okay, where's the white? I have to preserve the brightness. How do I create some
Uh-huh.
glowing coming through? Which is what I love about your work. I'm going to throw this back at you because you have this way with light in your images that I really enjoy. And
Oh,
it's
thank you.
not even areas that are about, say, a beam of sunlight coming through, or like, let's just show Mr. Foxy Fox, where there's this sort of situation with him being backlit and all this beautiful
Mhm. Just on the
sun.
edge of his fur and stuff.
Yeah. Um, so tell me a bit about, is that something that you do with intention, or do you find that that is just something that's evolved naturally? Because I see that in a lot of your work.
Yeah, I'm pleased that you said that. I think I've been trying to practice that a bit because I love when I see other artists who have that amazing light in their drawings and kind of it just creates a real atmosphere, which is so lovely in in illustration work or in any painting really that captures light in that way. So yeah, I think it's just something that's developed over time and also something I've been practicing recently to just try and get that kind of lit up image if I want to, if the light's coming from behind or something, because I just think it creates a really lovely effect.
So do you do it with intention from the get-go, or do you find that as you're working, there's areas where you think, oh yeah, that would be nice if the light was there and it's already starting to happen and I'm just going to go with it?
Yeah, I think the second one. So I don't kind
Yeah.
of I try and have a look at the image from the beginning, but I think as I'm painting, I try and leave those little areas, like on this fox here, where the light's just down on the top of his chest, just under his chin, where
Yeah.
this little bit of white fur is. So I'm gonna like that kind of comes apparent as I'm looking at the drawing and looking at and realizing when I'm painting, I'm like kind of noticing all the details and stuff. And so I've just started with the coloured pencil. The paint's nearly dry enough for me to start going over with the colour pencil. But yeah, so once I kind of find the colour pencils quite good for adding the extra shadows. So just as I'm doing his chest fur, I'll try and leave that little line of light along that edge of his fur, and yeah, I think that makes a really nice effect once the image is finished. And I'm just darkening his chest with a little bit of grey. And then once I've finished the fox with the coloured pencil, I'll probably go on and darken the background with the green a little bit. So making the background darker will make that line of light kind of become even more light. So hopefully it will work well once it's finished.
I'm just listening to you and trying to do the exact same thing. I'm doing something I do not recommend anybody try this. This is totally a rookie mistake that I forgot to erase some of my pencil lines beforehand, and this is still wet. I am using this. I wanted to share this with you. Let me just do this before he dries up too much. Just do. Okay. I am using this incredible color by Daniel Smith called Duotone Oceanic. I'm
Oh,
not
that
sure if you
looks
can
really lovely.
see that on camera. It has a tiny bit of shine, and it's a really interesting line. I wish I could remember the science of it, and of course I've gone blank at the moment, but I can put it in later. But they were created with a lot of pre-thought and science around using it for glazing, which is the fancy watercolor word for adding lots of layers. And
Oh, okay.
it does some really interesting things with other colors. And so they created a whole line of colors that are meant to work together. But I really just love it because it's a really interesting mint green, but it has a depth to it because it's got almost like a golden undertone to it.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's why they call it a duotone. So it's not granulating where you have two colors and then they separate upon drying. This has two or three colors, I forget, which are intentionally used to create these other effects with glazing. So when I was saying about not being traditional, so this is something that they would have created particularly for people that are doing landscapes or foliage and botanical
Oh,
work,
oh,
where, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to turn it into fur.
yeah. Why not?
Got to do something different. Wow, I couldn't have picked a better palette with intention. You know, this is just my ones
That's
that I
beautiful.
put
Yeah.
together before, and all these colors work really well with this painting. So
Yeah.
let's do some Perline Green, which is one of my absolute favorite colors. I love this color. And there's actually almost an indigo up in the background here with this little guy.
Oh, wow. That's a nice green. I like that.
I do too, and it blends really beautifully. That's one thing where I've had people say before, okay, well, I'm just starting watercolor. Should I invest in all these expensive paints? And I would say when you are ready to make a go of it, meaning that it's not something you're going to do for a weekend workshop and never touch again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because yes, they're expensive, but they will last for a lifetime. And the pigments, you can't get this with cheap watercolors. You just can't.
Mm. No. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Actually, I teach a an adult art class on a Friday afternoon, and it's really fun. I've just it's kind of it's called Learn to Draw. It's through the city of Port Moody, and it's really fun. It's lovely, a really lovely group of um, adults, and we do like a 2 weeks of pencil, 2 weeks of charcoal, 2 weeks of ink, and so on. And the last 2 weeks are watercolor. And so we've because it's all the materials are included. The watercolor are quite on the low end range, and
Hmm.
so I really noticed like when I try and paint with them, I'm like, oh my goodness, it does make such a big difference if you have something which is a bit more expensive, I guess, with the watercolor. And because the cheap palette just really like the color just washes away as soon as you add any water to it.
It washes away, and also with the ones that are the beginner ones, like, for me, living in a small area, so the next bigger town over, which would be Nanaimo,
Oh yeah.
there's a Michaels, and so they have a lot of
Uh-huh.
cheapo art supplies, which are great for people to try out and see if you even like the medium. But you get those cheap watercolors, and it's like trying to paint with chalk
Yes.
because
Yeah.
they're just it's really difficult. And so this is part of why I started making videos, because I wanted to share with people some of the experiences I had, but also to know that it's not you. You're not doing it
Mm.
wrong. It's your art supplies. They're fighting with you. Like this, what
Right,
I'm
yeah.
playing with here is a very inexpensive paper, which I love for something else. It's Canson XL.
Oh, I've
I
got one of
love,
those as well. That's what I'm
yeah.
using.
I love this for liquid watercolor, but
Uh-huh.
I am fighting with this drawing because of the way that I'm painting with it.
Uh-huh.
But it is a really good mid-range type of thing, so, as opposed to some of the other ones that people are finding in some of the stores. But I think it's really trial and error, and everybody likes their own thing, and a good artist can make anything work, right?
Yeah.
You just have to play with it and let go of some of the worries about everything being perfect. But if you do want to make art that you're going to have for a lifetime, or that you want to sell, you need a decent supply for sure, so that you're not stressed out about it all the time more than anything.
Yeah. And then you're wondering, wondering what if I had something, a bit more expensive and what a difference would it make? And
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm playing with some very expensive paints at the moment for something that's just for fun, and I think it's great. I love it. I'm using right now Soda Light, which
Hmm.
is
Oh, that's lovely.
it's almost like an indigo. It's a stunning color. And this is actually from Daniel Smith, and it is a mineral, a very expensive mineral that is it's a crystal that many crystal stores sell. And I know that because I used to have a crystal shop online for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And sodalite, beautiful, deep blue stone. And what they do is they grind it up, they macerate it up with different chemicals and whatnot
Yeah.
until it becomes like a pigment. And so you're painting with something that's actually of the earth, although highly chemicalized because of the processes that they do. And it just creates beautiful colors and effects. I mean, look at the green I'm
Oh, that's
getting
amazing.
just by
Oh,
mixing
yeah.
this.
That looks lovely with the orange of the fox as well.
Yeah, I like it. I
Yeah.
did not put this tape down enough. Oops, my paint is way too wet. Oh well, whatever. Abandon, 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 abandon. Okay. But yeah, fun, fun. Let's
Mm.
see what's going on over here with this guy. Right. So I might follow your lead and try some other supplies now, just to see. Although I think I've not painted his muscle dark enough yet. I might have to do that. And
Yeah,
what's
it's
going on with
pretty,
this ear?
pretty
Oop, oop,
dark
oop.
on this muzzle.
See, what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to do a traditional watercolor technique, and I am failing miserably because I don't really know how to do it. Oh well. I'm also standing up and watching what you're doing because that is so darling. Okay, you know what? I'm so following your lead, and I am going to pull out my watercolor pencils and
Yay.
see what I can get up to. It looks like a Payne's gray. These are really great for anyone that hasn't tried them out before.
Well, the Derwent one. Yeah, I think I've got Caran d'Ache ones, but I haven't tried the.
I have those,
Oh,
and then I've got this very old brand of Derwent. This is one of their first sets, I think. I've had those forever and ever.
oh
They
wow.
were so much money when I bought them, and I was like, am I doing the right thing? This is really expensive. It's like 10, 15 years later, and I still have those,
Oh,
and
that was a
it's pretty good.
good call. Yeah, this one is a Faber Castell.
Nice.
They're really nice pencils. I've got a mixture of Faber Castell and Prismacolor for my coloured pencils, which I use kind of interchangeably with each other, and they are all really nice. The Faber Castell are, I don't know if you have them, they're a little bit harder, whereas the Prismacolor are softer and they're a bit more, I guess, like pastels.
Ah,
But this one, yeah, they're both really nice brands, so
hmm.
use both of them.
I'm just gonna bring this up so people can see what I'm doing because it's so far away.
Oh, he looks so nice.
Look at that little snaggletooth.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I
I
love a
love
little snaggletooth monkey.
it.
That pink is so pretty. I
Yeah.
love that. That is my favorite, one of my favorite colors of all time. There's two of them on here. That's this Daniel Smith Quin Coral, which for me, it's actually a funny story. So I wanted to do coral pink because I like that color. And I couldn't mix it. And I was like, look, I can do anything. I can mix anything. I can do different colors. I can figure this out. And I spent a good month trying to figure out how to mix a decent coral. And in the end, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that must be a hard one to get.
It's very challenging. I didn't have the right pigments. And
Okay, yeah, that was why.
yeah, I didn't really understand that. I just, I get obstinate and OCD and it was like, I'm going to do it. I will figure it out. In the end, I ended up buying that, and it was one of the very few that I could find that is actually coral, because a lot of the
Yeah.
pinks tend rose or they'll go very magenta, and I found that the colors were just not drying the way that I wanted.
Okay.
And like you can see it on this other swatch here, where there's a little bit of water.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, that's a
Right.
lovely color.
So you get quite a variety of tones in that, and this color is amazing. It works for skin tones beautifully. It works for animals, like this little guy, especially if I'm going to do a cat or something.
Uh-huh.
And it works really well for botanicals. So
Oh, nice.
really excellent. And I will share this. This is a tip I want to share with anybody that's watching that's thinking about buying expensive paints. So this is the small size of Daniel Smith. And you're going to look at it and you're going to say, well, this is almost the same price as the big one. Why wouldn't I just get the big one? Which is what I normally do. These last forever.
Oh, right.
The pigment is so saturated. I've done a lot of portraits with this, and I've had this for 2 years. So it's done very, very well, and I still have more than half a tube left.
Oh, that's amazing.
So sometimes you don't have to buy the big expensive thing. It's okay to start with something small and just see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, and if it's going to last that long, that's great.
Okay. Oh, I mucked that up. Aw. Oh well. Nobody knows if you don't say anything. I've decided to make him a happy face instead of a sad face.
Well, that's good.
I'm following your lead, just seeing if I can create some character in this little guy, but I don't know what I'm doing really.
No, it looks great. I think
I
he's got
don't
a lovely character in his face.
I don't really follow the kids stuff much, so I do know how to make some nice eyes though. That's one thing I've learned well and I love it.
Yeah, I bet, with all those portraits.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was an accident. I was like, oh, I've got this yellow. Let's see what happens. And I put yellow and it was like, that looks cray cray. Let's layer some more color. And then the
Oh,
next thing I
wow.
knew, it was like, oh, wow, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Really started doing this practice as a way to do, well, two different things. One was to learn to let go of being so perfect and making things very precise.
Uh-huh.
And the other was I really needed it as a way to do some stress release. And I thought, if I turn this into business model,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
get
different.
yeah, you can get really, like you want to make it perfect because people are paying for it, right? So
Yeah.
it's a very different mindset. But I'm at that point now where I'm confident enough in what I'm doing and liking what I'm doing, which is
Yeah.
I was listening to Katerina Popova the other day. She does the Best Artist podcast,
Oh, okay.
and
I love a podcast.
yeah, she was also a guest on the Artful Desk, and she has her own magazine called Create Magazine.
Oh, yeah, I think I just saw your post about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and her podcast is excellent. But she was talking about her experience and the thing that she thinks was the most valuable to people that are creating and trying to make a business, which was it has to be something you're in love with. It has to
Mhm.
be. Otherwise, there's no longevity,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll get
right?
bored and not want to carry on.
Yeah. And if it's just creating stress, um, there's no point to it, So
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I didn't do any commissions up at this point, other than, like friends or family or something like that. But um, yeah, I think I'm at that point now, and I'm kind of enjoying things shifting a little bit. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's a fun place to be, when things sort of, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I feel like I've kind of hit a milestone.
Yeah, that's really nice feeling.
Okay. I don't feel like Mr. Foxy's dark enough, but at this point, I think I'm going to be okay with it and just pencil them in. What are you doing? I'm going to stand up and see. Oh, so cute.
Yeah, just working on the background a little bit. I'm just using this dark green, but I think um, that's why I like the layering over the paint, because you get like up the top here it's just straight on the paper, and it's got a different kind of feel to it to when I start doing the pencil over the paint a bit further down. And that's why I really like the pencils on top of the gouache and the watercolor. I think it works really well. And yeah, so I think I would probably do some more different greens and yellows and browns on this background as well to darken it down, but just starting off with the green, the dark green, and then sort of we'll have a look at some other colours and start layering them on top of each other with the pencils.
Well, it's fun to see what you're doing because I was really curious how you got that cross hatching effect
Oh,
in
okay.
your work. I've got to move my charging cable out of the way. And yeah, oh, I see. Yeah, so it's just layers and layers and layers.
Yeah, just loads of layers of pencils. Oh, he looks amazing.
There we go.
Yeah, I love it.
There. There's this little eyeball, which I just put really bright yellow green and then I put some Payne's gray pencil over top.
That's brilliant.
I love the
There's the
snaggle
pencil
tooth
marks
though.
on top as well. That looks so good.
There's this really great woman in the States, and she does animal rescue. I've
Oh,
been a fan of hers for years. Her name's Jessica, but she just goes by Jessica whoever, or the name of her fox, whose name is Juniper. And
oh,
she has taught people about fox rehabilitation and about how they are in reality and the things that are challenges that she has to go through with them and the different lifestyles and habitats. And it's really good because so many people look at animals that are, by human standards, cute, they're so cute,
yes,
and
yeah.
then want to adopt them but don't know anything about it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I personally don't think there should be any birds in captivity, but
Oh, me neither. I hate
that's
that.
a that's a whole different thing. But she has these two foxes,
Oh, wow.
and I think the family has now expanded to like 8 or 9 because over the years she's taught people a lot, and people wanted to help and
Yeah.
support the journey and support the rehabilitation. So she's got an actual center now, which is amazing.
Oh,
And
wow.
the main fox is Juniper,
Oh, that's such a
and
nice name.
Juniper's been with her for years. Juniper's a senior and was rescued from a fur farm, and
Oh, wow.
so is missing a front leg.
Oh, my
Uh,
goodness.
Yeah, it's just anyway. She's taught people a lot about what's going on in the industry, and it's very easy to flash things in front of people's eyes and make you think that it's all fine and dandy, but that's not really
Right.
what's going on. And but that little snaggletooth, it's like, look, Tanya's getting to the point 20 minutes later. Amazing. um, her Juniper has a little snaggletooth.
Oh,
And yeah, but they are interesting creatures. And I learned some really weird things about them that I didn't know, like the fact that she says their paws smell like cheese.
I really? Oh, wow.
And they have very distinct calls with
Yeah,
each
they do.
other at home or in the wild. And but some of them really do, like, they always make the thing about the laughing fox, but they really do sound like they're having a giggle.
Yeah. Yeah, they make amazing noises when I've heard. Sometimes if they sound like the noises they make are quite distressing, like they sound like a baby crying or something
Yeah, yeah.
when I've heard them in England. But yeah, they're quite they're real character animals.
Oop, I knew that was going to go too dark. Watercolor pencils are so fun.
Yeah.
But you have to
Yeah, I
be
don't.
mindful when they're dry and you wet them down because sometimes they change color more than you wanted them to.
Yeah, they can surprise you.
So when you use yours, do you use watercolor pencils?
I don't normally. I do have a set, but I use them just as pencils normally. I don't normally wet them. So yeah, I don't know why. I think I just haven't got used to them yet, and so I don't feel like I can use them really well. So I tend to just use the colored pencil on top of the watercolor instead.
I find that I like it dry on dry paper and
Mhm.
then add water and build it up or as a
Okay.
final detail because otherwise it does what it's doing right now, which I don't like when I've put it on wet and
Right.
then I'm getting a texture that I'm not super happy with, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I'm just playing with them a little bit. Yeah, I think the biggest lesson I ever learned, still learning, is
Yeah.
know when to stop mucking
Uh-huh.
about with the
I know that's a
watercolor.
hard one because you're like, oh, if I just do this, it'll make it look so much better. And then you just like just do this too many times, and then like, oh,
Yep.
damn it, and I can't go back.
Yeah, I have that problem. It's like, oh, I'll just pretend I was doing that with intention.
Yeah.
All right, like this guy. I think he could be have so much darker with a lot more depth, but I'm going to leave him for now because otherwise I'm going to mess with it. And I want to attempt to do some plants and florally stuff. All right,
Yeah.
let's see. I think he needs a little bit of something happening closer to the body, though. So, what would your next step be once you've done all that cross hatching?
I think just keep on looking at the fox and just adding more. I'm just looking at him now. I think of this area in his fur. I think I could probably go a bit darker, like you were saying as well, with some of the shadows and a few more different shades of oranges and reds. And then I'll start to capture where the light in the photograph is hitting his back, where it's so once I put those in, I can leave kind of sections of the watercolor, and that I think that will help create the light patches on his back. And I might even use some white colored pencil as well to try and lighten the orange a little bit, and that might work.
Mm, yeah, that would be great, especially right in this mid back where there is that very sort of peachy white color. This is something that I am really challenged by is I always forget, and literally got a tube of white gouache sitting right next to me. Um, I never use it because it was one of those ridiculous things that we were sort of told I mean, and I went to
Yeah.
art school in the 80s, a long time ago, and it was cheating.
Uh-huh.
It was like, well, you have to learn how to, you know, leave space for the paint,
Yeah.
and just let it happen. But you don't.
Yeah. Nobody, no, no painting police are going to come and get you.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I'm actually going to grab my gouache and maybe play with that a little bit because I never do that. So we're going to have to wrap up soon just because I don't want this to be too long of a video.
Yeah,
And
I realized like it's gone so quickly. I feel
it,
like I've been drawing for like 10 minutes and
I
it's
know, same.
nearly
Um,
2:30.
I'm going to just jump up and see if there's anybody in the chat that has any questions for you or for I. I would love to hear from you guys. And if you're on the replay, don't forget to pop them in also because I always check and I love to talk to you guys. So if you've got any questions or want to know anything about the art supplies or Sarah's illustration, or in fact, we might get Sarah to tell us where we can find some of her work and where what is coming up with you next. That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, I post regularly on Instagram and more on Substack as well. So my Instagram is at Sarah Lovell Art, and if you look for the same handle on Substack, you'll find me on there as well. I also my newsletter for Substack is called Drawing on Daydreams. So that's, and I also have a website which is sarahlovelart.co.uk. And yeah, I just sent off this morning the final edits for illustrations for a new picture book. So that's really
Oh,
exciting for a self-publishing author in America. So
Wow.
I think she's going to self-publish it by next year. So a little bit of a wait, but I'm really excited to see how that turns out. And also, I think I shared with you the puffin drawings for my friend who's an author in Scotland, who I've done a picture book for previously, the Highland Cowgirl, and so she's done a book of bedtime stories, and I've just finished editing the black and white illustrations for those. So I've sent those to her for approval, and then at the same time, so I'm doing a lot of things going on at the moment. At the same time, I'm just starting illustrations for another new picture book, which I'm really excited about. It's about a tree, and I love drawing trees, so
Oh,
I'm really looking forward to getting going on that one. So yeah, I'm quite busy. So it's exciting, and I'm really excited that I'm going to have a few new books by the end of the year. So that'll be really good.
wow. Well, thank you for taking time to hang out with me and do this
Thank
today.
you.
That was
It's been
really
so
nice of
fun.
you.
Yeah,
I
I loved
love
it.
that. Okay, I'm just putting down a little bit of gouache, and I would love some tips from you because I'm finding that I'm actually liking it in the areas that are quite wet. It's just giving me
Oh
sort of a
yeah.
nice background thing. So, what's a tip that you've got with the gouache that you find works really well in the work that you do?
I think finding I use it, as I said before, with quite a lot of water. So yeah, using it quite wet, like you're doing just there, I find works pretty well for what the effects I want to create. And also, once I've put the coloured pencil on, I sometimes even go back over with the gouache on top, and just if there's any areas I just want to darken down a little bit, but I don't want the coloured pencil effect. I want the more painterly effect. So that can work, be quite an interesting way to do things as well. So you might want to try that, and yeah, and try just mixing some different colours and putting some of the background colours in with the oranges and things might be quite nice. So
Yeah, that's it. I like that idea. I'm gonna give that a go in a second. This is a very, very old tube. This gouache. Look at it.
oh,
$3.60. This has got to be 20
that's
years
pretty
old.
good.
It's 20 years old.
Oh
But
wow, if only they were still that price.
yeah, I know because half the binders come out with my little drop. But what's really interesting is I like where the paper is damp and it's creating that beautiful bloom effect as opposed to where
Mm,
the paper is very wet and it's just pushed all the green pigment out of the way, which I'm not
yeah,
liking as much. So I guess it's really just trial and error, isn't it? And seeing,
yeah,
kind
definitely.
of, let's see. No, it doesn't really work for grass, but we'll just give it a go. Okay. Well, let's see what you're up to. Oh, look it. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Oh, thank you
Wow.
very much.
Okay, wait, I have to put on my other glasses so I can see this up close because that is incredible. How did you get the fur like that under his beautiful?
Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind.
Oh, so cute. Okay, here's my little ruffian. Looks like he just got out of the trash panda
Oh, he looks
playing in the
amazing.
garbage.
No, he's
I
really gorgeous.
don't know what's going on in his body as
I
much, but
love the colours you've got in there, like the yellows and the oranges and the pinks, and yeah, it's so beautiful.
thank you. I love layering. Oh, that's lovely. I can't. Well, you're gonna share when you're finished and I can put him in the edit of the video.
Yeah, definitely. I'll carry on later today, and for the like in my spared bits between other projects, and I'll definitely send you the finished painting drawing. So yeah,
Oh,
that'd be really
wonderful.
nice, and you as well. That'd be really fun to see them both together.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to continue on with him a little bit and just kind of get something happening here. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I
Oh,
really
thank
appreciate you
you.
taking time. And this was lots of fun. And yeah, time just flew by.
It
Wow.
really did. I can't believe it.
Hey, thanks for hanging out, everybody. This is Tanya with the Artful Desk, and also today's little fun episode of playing. I'm calling it the Play and Tell instead of Show and Tell, where I get to chat with artists about their art supplies. And how cool is that? And you get to learn all sorts of stuff. And hopefully, don't go break the bank because you're buying all the things that we're using and loving so much. But I just want to give you guys some inspiration for today. Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And again, Sarah. Thank you for sharing the joy and the love of what you're doing. I really appreciate you and I love your art so much.
Ah, thank you. I really enjoyed it as well. It's been wonderful. Hopefully, speak to you again soon.
Absolutely. Okay,
Okay,
everybody. We'll catch you next
bye.
time. Bye.
Bye.